50 years ago, President Kennedy made physical fitness a national priority.
This should be a matter of concern to us all. A country is as strong, really, as its citizens.
Kennedy framed the issue in Cold War terms. We had to get fit in order to compete with the communists. In this 1962 government film, Bob Hope made the case.
Maybe you've seen some of the pictures of those Eastern European athletic meets. With these people, physical fitness is a way of life. And while there isn't much over there we'd care to copy, we could do with a little more of this kind of thing in our country.
Exercise became the order of the day, especially in schools.
Getting used to the new physical fitness program in our school wasn't easy. But once we got onto it, it was fun. We found we could do a whole lot more than we thought without getting tired. And anybody who couldn't keep up was a real square.
But today, obesity rates among young Americans are nearly 4 times as high as they were in the 1960s. And as for phys ed, only 2% of high schools in America provide daily PE. But we found a high school in Illinois that's taking Kennedy's mandate to a new level. At Naperville Central, a public high school of nearly 3,000 students, educators believe exercise will not only get kids fit, but will improve learning and academic performance. And they're putting that idea into practice for a group of students who struggle in reading and in math. At 7:45 a.m., these freshmen and sophomores start the day in the gym.
Get your heart rate up.
The key is to get their heart rates up right before their most difficult classes.
Right now, I'm riding the bike to get at least 20 minutes in the zone.
The whole goal was to get them at 145 to 185 beats per minute for their heart rate.
Once Nadine Alness has hit her target heart rate zone, she heads to a class to improve reading comprehension.
Here's an example of a text-to-world connection. And this is what you'll be doing in your journals.
Cross-reducing is the easiest.
Then comes pre-algebra.
Let's look at number 21. You cross-reduce with the 9.
I like gym in the morning, how it refreshes me. I don't doze off a lot. So I focus more onto the teacher, more on the lessons, more on everything.
Hello.
Paul Zintarski is the brains behind the program. He was the physical education coordinator here for 26 years. He says some teachers were skeptical when he first came up with the idea.
They were afraid that the kids would be so hyped up coming out of PE going into the next class that they wouldn't be able to teach them well. So yeah, skeptical? Absolutely. They thought we were weird.
But in the 6 years since the program began, the results speak for themselves. On average, kids who signed up for physical education directly before reading comprehension read half a year ahead of those who opted out of the exercise program. And in math, the improvements were even more dramatic. Students with the benefit of PE before pre-algebra consistently did better, improving 2 to 4 times more than their peers on standardized tests. It's something that Zintarski thinks other educators need to know about.
People are dropping PE because test scores are failing. That's not the approach. That's the exact opposite of what you need to do to be successful.
And he's not just talking about that group of students. When it comes to academics, the District of Naperville is one of the best in the state. Zintarski believes one of the key reasons is that all kids here take a fitness-based PE program. And now he's trying to spread that idea to other schools.
My crusade is to let them know that if you infuse quality physical education in your program, that your kids will do better academically.
The real sexy part of what exercise does is that it promotes the growth of new brain cells.
John Rady is a psychiatrist who teaches at Harvard Medical School. He spent years studying the link between exercise and learning.
Is exercise to the brain the same functionally as exercise to the muscle? That is, the more you use it, the more you can lift, the more you can learn.
Exactly. We call the brain a muscle these days. The more you use the brain, the better it gets. That's why people are doing Sudoku, people are doing crossword puzzles. They're using their brains. But so does physical exercise. It challenges our brain. And just like when we challenge our muscles, they grow, so too does our brain.
Rady tells us the science goes like this. When you exercise, the first thing that happens is neurotransmitters are released into the brain, keeping us awake and alert. Then, after a few minutes, exercise stimulates our nerve cells to grow and connect, creating the perfect environment for learning.
I called it miracle grow for the brain, which means that it's brain fertilizer. So it helps our brain cells stay young and perky, and it also helps our brain cells do what they're supposed to do when we learn, which is to grow.
I say it's not voodoo, it's really based on science.
Paul Zentarski is using this information to get parents and educators excited about following the Naperville model.
This is what I present to parents when I'm trying to convince them about the program. If you would have ever told me that I would have gone into the neuroscience of the brain, no way.
And there's emerging research supporting the contention that exercise and learning are connected. At the University of Illinois in 2009, scientists found that 20 minutes of walking before a test raised children's test scores. And in a study of more than 2.4 million Texas students in 2010, kids with higher physical fitness levels were better behaved and had better test scores.
Is it as simplistic, or simple rather, as more gym time equals higher test scores?
Not necessarily. It's not that simple. It's not just gym time. It's fitness-based PE that's really the center of it. In other words, it has to be focused on all the children, because when I grew up and when you grew up, probably gym class was mainly for the athletes.
Right.
And those that didn't want to participate were set off on the side, or if you chose up teams, you didn't play. If you weren't that good, it was a whole different animal to have every child participating. And I think that was the beauty of what I saw at Naperville.
At Naperville Central, an admittedly prosperous suburban school, gym here resembles a health club. It's the rare school that can afford yoga classes,
I should hear your exhale.
dance lessons, kickboxing. But Zentarski's advice to any district is to go outside the system for money.
You need to go to corporations. You need to go to the food industry, who gets a bad rap for giving kids bad food, and say, hey, you've got to give some money back.
He's raised about $250,000 over 20 years. The big lesson of Naperville, however, isn't about having spiffy facilities. It's that exercise is as much an academic undertaking as an athletic one.
It's nice to have the bells and whistles, don't get me wrong. But if you have jump ropes in an urban setting, students can exercise and get their heart rates up. And it's all about getting your heart rates up. It's one thing to exercise because you want to look good, you want to be healthy. But now when you throw in the fact that you're going to literally create more brain cells every time you do an aerobic exercise, it gives you another reason to go about doing it.